Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ball Not Court Podcast host Cortez Paul.
Along with my co-host Paul Mack.
I want to thank you folks for tuning in today and listening to the show. Basically, we cover basketball, football, NCAA, or anything that's related to current events with a humorous twist to it, at least. You can follow the podcast at BIOC Podcast at X or Twitter. We're also on Instagram at the same name, BIOC Podcast. You go to our YouTube channel, that's also BIOC Podcast. Our Facebook page is Balls Not Court Podcast. So if you could please just give us a like, shout, comment on any of those, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Balls Not Court Podcast. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Ball Not Court Podcast. Cortez Paul is here. The usual Paul Mack to the right. Website he's on for you guys to keep the screen. It's all good. Good afternoon, Mr. Mack. I know I say good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everything?
Hey, man. Afternoon, bro. I get Knicks basketball tomorrow, bro. I'm excited. It's been a long 9 days of having to watch a bunch of basketball that I don't care about, that I don't necessarily enjoy. The NBA is an interesting product, man, because I tell you, there's just some uninteresting, just weird stuff that happens in the postseason in the NBA, and I just want my Knicks, bro. It sucks that we've just been dominant, you know? Sorry, Philly. Not really.
About to say you're definitely not sorry there, but no, man, the NBA playoffs, as you said, has been competitive for the most part. First round was excellent. Second round, for the most part, we kind of expected. You know, I definitely thought for sure. I knew the Lakers was going to be, but I thought the Knicks have a little bit more competitive series against the Philly because all of them having healthy, but y'all pretty much just dominated them.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I just thought with all their talent back with Philly, that I know Embiid is a mess health wise, but with that squad battle, I expected the series to be a little bit more than what it was. But nonetheless, man, playoffs has been great. As far as movement. Before we get into the pod, I want to ask your thoughts on this. What do you thought about Shams taking the spotlight for the MVP announcement? Because that was supposed to be announced on Prime Video.
I mean, that's Shams, bro. I'll do you one better. We haven't had a chance to talk about this. How do you feel about the post Celtics collapse Jaylen Brown press tour that he was on, live streaming himself just saying some crazy shit? Like, he was saying that this was the most enjoyable season of his career. He was out here just shit talking the refs, that the refs have it in for him, that they were this and that. And it's just like, brother, like, you need to, like, I don't know if I've ever seen a guy that doesn't want to be in Boston more than I think Jaylen Brown demonstrated over those couple days where he was live streaming. Because, I mean, to be without Jason Tatum, who is essentially your 1A, 1B, and you to say that you had the most fun you've ever had, and you won a championship, you know what I mean, a couple years ago. Just a crazy statement to think about. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Boston's in a weird spot, bro.
Yeah, I don't. I guess it's to the point where I guess maybe he wants his own team now, but I don't know, bro. It's weird, man, because you see how he's been acting out and being very vocal. And usually he's pretty vocal, but more than not, he's been really just on that streaming services talking and being very open and opinionated about what happened during the season. But at the end of the day, man, like, if you want to leave Boston, let them leave, man. Like, I don't know what more you can say. You've been vocal about what you feel like, but to say that this is the best season that you had and you had a title that you won with Tatum, like, I don't know, man. It's one of those that in the light of social media and having all this stuff at your disposal, you can really speak your piece. It feel like him and then also Miles Turner has kind of been like topics. Like he's talking about like Giannis is late to practice and stuff like that, late to catching the plane. So I don't know if it's your NBA players. You don't really need the clicks, but it's
and Doc Rivers don't need to catch any more strays either, man. Doc Rivers, like I think we all are fully aware of the kind of guy that Doc Rivers is. You know what I mean? I don't need Miles Turner just reassuring me that Doc Rivers shouldn't have another head coaching job for the rest of his life.
No, it's nuts, man. But at the end of the day, you want to see your prime trade candidates. Well, we just talked about them.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because like for them to put so much emphasis on Jason Tatum coming back, and then for him to end the season the way he did and sit out and basically not even be there to help his team move on. At that point, it's just, should he have come back in the first place? Did they mismanage that injury? Like what was the point of like that whole thing? You know what I mean? Like just at the end of the day, this just feels like it's a lost cause. He came through, had a couple good games, but at the end of the day, he clearly wasn't ready for a playoff push, and it ended up costing you guys because your chemistry got all out of whack, and you weren't the same team that you were, around the All-Star break. So it's just like, what's the point, bro? Dude just came in, dropped a nuke, and then dipped out. You know what I mean?
Paul, I think we're seeing a shift, and I want to say this is Boston's offense is very predicated on three-point shooting. So once that is cold, they just go out the window. But the 4 teams left remaining, they're not like out of this world three-point shooting teams, but it's a common theme with them. They're big, they're physical, they're rebound, they're got a competent defense. Do you feel like there's a shift coming? I mean, because it seemed like even with some of these teams that were still like, even Detroit, even though I know they got eliminated last night, their identity was pretty much a physical defensive team. Like it feel like there's a shift with defense in the postseason.
I think I'll do you one better too, is if you look at a lot of these teams aside from Wembanyama, a lot of them are ISO heavy. Like Cleveland's ISO with Donovan Mitchell, he's an ISO heavy guy. Now they got James Harden. Those are two guys that kind of ISO and make things happen. Jalen Brunson, obviously. The way Karl-Anthony Towns has been playing, he's been playing kind of point forward up top. And then obviously Shea is going to ISO all day. But like then you have the Spurs, who are just like this complete unit of a team with Wembanyama and some great guard play. I guess the theme would just be guard play too. I mean, obviously Wemby's going to be the focus for San Antonio, but there's just been some great guard play and defense on off and offense as well, like from all these teams. And it's like you don't need to shoot threes. I think we might have finally crossed the threshold of like you don't have to shoot 35 threes a game. Like
no, right?
To have a competent offense, play defense, be physical. Have guys that can knock down the three, like we saw last night. Sam Merrill hit some huge shots for Cleveland. The Knicks have their 3-point shooter. We saw Deuce McBride, go off against Philly. Castle and those guys can make threes, but you do have other guys like Harrison Barnes can come in, knock down a three every once in a while. Dylan Harper's been shooting the ball well, and then obviously if you're the Thunder, Shea can get the three going, and Caruso and Holmgren. So like, you have these guys that can hit timely threes, and they don't have to just go out there and shoot 40 of them and hope to make, 18-20 and win a basketball game.
Yeah. It just seems like it's a different shift, so it's interesting to see how that's going to pan out for the rest of the 4 NBA teams that left. Well, hey, man, let's get into the first. I know you kind of touched bases a little bit, but let's deep dive on this. We'll talk about the Western Conference Finals. We feel like this is going to be a gauntlet matchup during regular season. It was pretty much it was all Spurs, but this is a series that feature, we just talk about the back-to-back ringing MVP and Shea, Gilles Alexander, and then we look at Wemby and all the other players. But the regular season results, man, Spurs got them 4 times. And one of the games included the NBA Cup semis. And there seems to be an intensity that the Spurs is kind of match. And I'm talking about Wemby and Chet. What's your first initial thoughts of this series? How they got here before you break that down. Oklahoma City just storm-rolled through the Phoenix Suns and the Lakers. Would love to see the Lakers play with Luka in that series, but Luka hamstring, I guess he came out and said that it was more severe than what it was, even though Ric Flair kept attacking him.
Ric Flair was going after him, bro.
He was going after him. The San Antonio Spurs, 4-1 against the Portland Trail Blazers, and then 4-2 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Would have been interesting to see if Ant was healthy, and then Dante DiVincenzo would have been healthy as well. How that series would have lined up. The Spurs came down from that series, and they ended up winning that series in dominant fashion. But what is your initial thoughts of how they got here, and what's your thoughts about the series in particular?
I mean, OKC just kind of done what OKC's done the last few years. I mean, they've had the path of least resistance. They're able to just do what they want. And a lot of weird games, too. Like, we saw the whole kind of end of the Lakers game where the Lakers just looked like they're about to just start boycotting the whole series because they just didn't like the way that the refs were officiating the games. And that's just been a theme for Oklahoma City, I think, since the dawn of time, it feels like. Whether or not you feel the same way that JJ Redick felt about, like, LeBron getting a whistle versus Shea getting a whistle, whether it just looks different because bigger guys just – don't flail around as much as smaller guys. But like it's just the defense, man. It's such a well like acclimated offense, like the way that they could just slide AJ Mitchell in there. Jalen Williams has been out, and it just doesn't matter. Like they just next man up. As long as you have Shea, Chet's liable to kind of go off any minute depending on the matchup. Like obviously, I think this San Antonio matchup is very tough on Chet. I think Chet tries, and I think he has a little chip on his shoulder going up against Wemby, being Wemby was number 1 pick. But I just don't think it's a good matchup for him. 4-0 in the regular season is huge, but like as we know, like regular season doesn't necessarily mean anything. But I just feel like the Spurs coming off the games that they had against Minnesota, like that series, they honestly should have probably won 4-1. Like the game Wemby got ejected. I mean, I think they kind of gave Minnesota one right there. But the way that they're playing, man, like I said, like the way that they play defense, the physicality that they have, their guards, like even just in the starting lineup itself. I mean, you're looking at De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama. Like these are physical guys that are gonna get into people, and it causes problems. It's just a matter of if you can keep them out of foul trouble. I think we've seen that those guards, because they're young, how they play, they can get into foul trouble. And I think that's where Minnesota got them, was when Edwards was really drawing fouls. The aggressiveness and stuff like that. But this is a good series, man. Like I'm almost more intrigued by this than I am the Knicks Cavs. Like I think this series has the opportunity to like really see who Oklahoma City is, and like these are two teams that should hopefully just beat up on each other, and then whoever does get to the NBA Finals, like it's there for the Eastern Conference to kind of just give them the final blow, because they should be roughed up.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical series. It's already been announced that Jalen Williams is going to be cleared to play. And I know he was missing some of these games during the season. So like you said, the season really doesn't tell the whole story. You mentioned about AJ Mitchell. Dude is having a fantastic postseason. He really stepping into the limelight when Jalen Williams is down. I believe he's averaging 18 points a game, 4 and 4 assists and rebounds per game. OKC this was a second round draft pick. Initially, your Knicks drafted him and y'all trade him to the Thunder. The Thunder, man, they just sit here and they just have a factory right now, and they can sit here and find players. This is a second round pick, man, and he's producing like this, and he's probably gonna cause some uncomfortable conversations about OKC's core. And what do you do with that as far as a contract wise? Because a lot of this talent you got to pay. So OKC's gonna be letting a lot of guards go, just on the base of the way AJ is playing. On top of that, like you look at this whole series here, and you mentioned about the Chet and Wemby thing. Like Wemby plays with a certain aggression. He runs his mouth a little bit more towards Chet. I think it's really been between that whole under 18 USA basketball tournament thing. They really just don't like each other.
Well, they got beef, bro. They got beef. For real.
They got beef. So so that matchup's gonna be fun. Trying to figure Dylan Hopper does not look like a rookie.
No.
He looks very impressive, very poised, hitting big time shots. For him to get this experience early in his career, just gonna be fantastic for him as well. I just look at this, man. This matchup is gonna be so much fun to watch. From just a physical standpoint. I definitely feel like, to me, these two teams are going to be pretty much the class of the West for like the next 5 years. Like all these other teams that was like competing. I know they talk about Minnesota windows closing. I mean, it probably is until they make some moves. But these two teams right here, it's going to be a fun matchup to watch. And I just wonder. What Shai's gonna show up, because Shai has kind of been quiet during the postseason, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had some tough matchups the way here though. I mean, I think it's just regardless of how dominant OKC has been, like the emergence of AJ Mitchell has just been huge. Like I think there was a couple games where Shai got in some foul trouble, but like, I think that team has evolved to a place where like they have guys that can get a bucket. So like Shai doesn't have to like go as hard every possession. Like he's still there to get you on a run. He's still there to hit a big shot when you need a big shot. He can get anywhere he wants still if he needs to, but like he doesn't have to. Like the difference in that offense with Jalen Williams versus the way AJ Mitchell's been playing is like it's just really been interesting, because AJ Mitchell has like opened up and unlocked a huge part of that like spacing and like the way that offense is flowing, and like it just doesn't seem like Shai has to just dribble out the shot clock, try to penetrate, make a move, kick out somebody else, and kind of make a play. Like there's other playmakers out there, and I don't know. I mean, we'll see how that works against San Antonio, but like I'm kind of glad I'm not watching just Shai foul bait his way through an entire 4 quarters, because it's not fun to watch.
It's not. But I'm sitting here talking about, Shai's been kind of like having a quiet, and it's crazy. You look at it, it's like 24 points is quiet, but compared to Shai, you get 30 when he's walking. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so that's why
he's usually around 28, 29.
All right. So that's why I'm like, even that is just. But at the end of the day, like you said, Paul, they played the Suns. They played the Lakers. He had some tough defenders on him, pretty much guarding him. But the rest of his team really much doesn't shine. Like Chet is having a good postseason as well too.
Yeah.
You looking at some of these pieces that's just available here, but on the flip side, the Spurs got tested a little bit. That's why I think it's good for the Spurs. On the flip side for them, they lost on the road a few times and they lost at home. So that bodes well for them to go into, what many can consider a hostile environment over there in Loud City in OKC. To me, I'm just looking for a really fantastic series here. just going to be fun to watch. Just to pretty much watch what Mitch Johnson and see what Mark Daigneault do from a coaching's perspective against each other.
I think that's gonna be the real matchup here, man. I think like the way they utilize rotations and the way they're gonna substitute and play against each other. I think that like what lineups are they going to use in certain situations? I really think the coaching matchup in this series is going to be probably one of the bigger matchups versus like the actual like one-on-ones that we're going to see on the court. But like this is going to be a real coaching clinic. I think we're going to see this one.
Gotcha. Who you like? Because both of these teams got deep benches. Who bench you're kind of leaning towards more, Spurs or OKC bench?
I really like the way the Spurs bench is playing, man. Like Dylan Harper, Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes can come in, knock down shots. Luke Cornett is a very serviceable backup center for when Wemby has to come out of the game. It's just a really deep bench, and like similar to how we're talking about like the shift. If you look at all four of these teams compared to what we're normally used to seeing, they all have pretty deep rotations. Like, which is weird to say out of the Knicks. The Knicks are running like an 8-9 man rotation. You know what I mean? Cleveland's got a deep bench. OKC's got a good bench. San Antonio's got a good bench. So like these are teams that have trust in their benches, and it's allowed them to like really like rest their guys when they have to, and really get them in ways they are, because usually most of the time it's what, like 7-man rotations in the postseason.
Yeah, they shorten them for sure.
They shorten them
go that deep.
A lot. But like now you got literally 2 units, and then you can mix them up and have probably 3 units of different styles you can play out there depending on who you're playing, and it's impressive. Like you said, Dylan Harper has really impressed me. I even forgot about like someone like Champagny in San Antonio. I mean, I know he starts for them, but like it's just there's guys all over the place that you can throw out there, and I mean, getting Jalen Williams back is huge for OKC, but I just think that the Spurs are the actual deeper team. They are deep, and they're physical, and they're going to throw everybody they got at Shea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have to. They're going to use Carter Bryant. They're going to use Harrison Barnes. They're going to use
Dylan Harper. Probably would get a beast.
Dylan Harper, like it's going to be.
Castle will probably try. Yeah, they're going to try to throw everybody at him.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, who you got winning the series and how many games?
I'm gonna go with my heart, and I don't know if this is a team that I want to play or whatever, but I'm gonna take the Spurs in 7.
Okay. I think the Spurs time is coming, but it won't be this year. And then I got OKC winning in 6 games, but it's gonna be a hard 6 games, tough 6 games. But hey, your pick wouldn't surprise me because the Spurs did pretty much own them during the regular season. I just want to see how them play. Well, we know what Jalen Williams is going to bring to this squad for the OKC Thunder, and so I'm just wondering to see how he's going to be integrated with the ascension of AJ Mitchell, especially in the postseason. But OKC is just a factory, just like the Spurs is going to be a factory here as well. The talent that they have here, but fun series. Looking forward to it. Game start tonight, 8:30. Man, this is going to be a really, really great game. Trying to figure out what network's going to be on, but it's all Peacock, NBC Peacock. So, it'll be on that. So it's going to be pretty cool to see that. All right, let's get into the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's a funny thing. So in the Western Conference, you got 1 and 2 seeds, and in the East, you got the 3 and 4 seeds. The East is what we expected to be. We thought it was going to be crazy. But initially, a lot of a lot of people felt the Knicks was going to come out or going to be represented in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're here. If you saw a lot of picks before the season, a lot of people expected the Knicks to be here. Some actually expect the Cavs to be here too. So I guess we really can't be too shocked. It's just how they got here. It's a little bit different. Detroit took off during the regular season. They really made quite the jump. Boston, who was supposed to be going through a whole rebuilding year, or at least not rebuilding, but pretty much like you thought they're going to be a low-tier playoff team.
Yeah, it was a gap year. It was a gap year for Boston. It's supposed to be.
Right. Exactly. And so they end up just making the jump here. So they got the number 2 seed. number 2 seed team. But to me, I think this is where this line up at. Honestly, I mean, if you asked me before the season, I felt these two teams were definitely in contention to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. So, and they're here. But overall thoughts of your Knicks advancing, getting here. You pretty much did what you're supposed to do in the first round. I know the Hawks kind of jumped out a little bit, and y'all had y'all little moment of adversity. You overcame it, and then y'all pretty much took over to the next season against Philly and just kind of just dominated that series where y'all just kind of stole out their arena too. Paul, how you feel? 'Cause I already know how you feel towards Philly, but how do you feel? You're up here again.
I'm glad we kind of had the little bit of adversity against Atlanta. Like, obviously, we lost 2 games by a point. You know what I mean? 1 point and 1 point. And then it was just blowout city after that. Obviously, we had the huge blowout in the final game against Atlanta. Go on to Philly. Handle our business the way we handle business. And I think you're seeing, like, this is why you bring in Mike Brown. Like, we saw Mike Brown took the Sacramento Kings to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, dude can coach his ass off. And I know there was times where people were looking at him kind of weird. We were going through some stuff, and it was just like all these analysts, Stephen A. Smith, all these fucking people. Like, everyone just lives in the moment, bro. Like, they don't look at the big picture. Like, Knicks fucking lose a game, and it's like, if they don't make it here, they're gonna blow the whole team. Like, bro, relax, dude. I at no point was scared. I'm like, all right, look, whatever.
No, you was fine.
We're the better team. We'll make adjustments. We'll be all right. Like, Atlanta's not that good. You're gonna look ahead, whatever it is. Like, it's fine. I wasn't fretting, bro. And then with Philly, like, 2 or 3 of those games were pretty much over by halftime. I had nothing to worry about. Like,
but would you shocked though? I mean, because y'all dominated them, and Philly healthy. They're a decent team, bro. I mean, I know, all hating aside, I know you say F Philly, but that team, the way they control, I'm like, dude, Maxey, Edgecombe, they got Paul George. I know he's a shell himself, and Joel Embiid when he's healthy. Like, I thought for sure Quentin Grimes is the player that come off the bench. Kelly Oubre. It's a nice team, but I guess they just paper. They're on paper compared to y'all.
It's when it all clicks, man. Whatever adjustments they made, where Mike Brown was like, we're gonna dribble a handoff, Karl Anthony Towns at the top of the key. We're gonna have Bridges and OG cut to the basket, and Towns is gonna get 2 triple doubles almost. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way he can pass. And the things that he unlocks by being able to pull the center out of the paint. Like, obviously, I don't know how effective Joel Embiid is, like, nowadays. I don't know if that really counts, but, like, being able to just pull your big man out and have this guy making plays up top, and how many easy buckets we got out of Bridges and Anunoby up until he tweaked himself, and not having to rely super heavy on Jalen Brunson to be the playmaker. That we can get Brunson the ball and he can do what Brunson does, and when we need a bucket, he gets a bucket because he's still going to get you a basket when you need one. Just the way everything's clicked, man. Like, this is the Mikal Bridges that we traded for. Like, he's here. Like, OG's shooting the ball lights out up until he got hurt. Like, hopefully he's good and he can come back after this long rest. Deuce McBride, like,
dude, he has some big shots, dude.
Big shots, bro. Like, the way he slid in and started for OG. And just the depth and the production we're getting out of Landry Shamet, out of Jordan Clarkson. Like, we have these guys, Jose Alvarado, Grand Theft Alvarado.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We have guys where we're running, it feels like we're almost running 10, 11 guys. Like, we have different guys out there all the fucking time. Like, it's just the rotation is sweet. As we just need Cat to not get in foul trouble. Talk about a guy that picks up stupid fouls. This guy probably picks up some of the dumbest fouls I've ever seen. And if he can just harness that in and just keep doing what he's doing and be the playmaker, because, like, if there's anything really that scares me about Cleveland, they do have two adequate bigs. Like, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, I think can cause some problems. but that's my only real concern. So if we can keep Jared Allen or Evan Mobley away from the basket, and that frees up for our forwards and stuff and our guards to get rebounds. But yeah, man, like it's been fun. Like obviously, like I don't know what being an OKC fan's like and just watching them steamroll everybody and have 2 back-to-back sweeps in 2 series. But like I was at my mom's for Mother's Day and we were hanging out and she was excited she got to watch the Knicks on Mother's Day and like we were having the fucking time of our lives watching them go up by damn near 40. Like, you know what I mean? It's been a fun ride, bro. Because like we had that massive win versus Atlanta in a closeout game, and then we just absolutely dismantled Philadelphia in a closeout game. It's so funny, bro. I'm having a hell of a postseason, bro. I'm chilling.
Good, man. Glad to hear it, man. Nah, man. This you already hit the nail on the head, man. Like the Knicks was pretty much projected to be here, and how they got here. And it's always funny, man. The NBA journey is always not a linear one, unless you OKC, that is.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're just going to have ups and downs during the season. And I feel for the most part, man, you know, Jalen Brunson is literally showing a lot of his critics up. I think every time, and I'm pretty sure you get sick and tired of seeing the Becky Hammond clip, but that comes up a lot every time Jalen Brunson has the bad
game. 100%. Yeah. There's whole like Jalen Brunson hate reels, bro. Like of the shit of like the receipts. There's just reels of the receipts, and it's just like we're keeping the receipts, and it's all the negative stuff people said about Jalen Brunson. He's not this, he's not that. He needs this, he needs that. All right, bro. Let him do his thing. Let him cook.
Yeah. Well, here's the beautiful thing about playoff basketball: is narrative's gonna be broken. Can Jalen Brunson get him to the NBA Finals and at least compete for a championship? Donovan Mitchell finally getting to conference finals. This is his first conference finals. He's been trying for his whole career, and he had to drag James Harden, who didn't. Well, he usually does his Game 7 answers and disappear, but he didn't do much in Game 7 against the Pistons. It was all Donovan Mitchell that pretty much carried him, and then Sam Merrill, you talking about went on the heater. So it's just gonna be
Jared Allen. Jared Allen was huge too.
Yes, and that's to me. I think that's gonna be a fun matchup between Carving Towns and Jared Allen. Jared Allen's gonna go out there and have to guard Cat, and I'm about to see how he responds to that. And then what y'all do about the OG Anunoby and if he, I'm pretty sure he's. I think I said things. He might be, more than I would. But if he's coming back,
I think so.
I think he's coming back to play.
I would hope so.
But that matchup against Evan Mobley, how the size versus the physicality of OG, how that's gonna match up, and then.
This might be one of those series where you have to go 2 bigs. We might have to go Mitchell Robinson, Karl-Anthony Towns.
You may have to, and then at a point too where OG is pretty much just he just got to give James Harden fits.
That's it. OG has to be glued to Harden, and Bridges got to be glued to Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. But for the most part, and I think someone said this last night, and I do agree. New York and Cleveland, super big front lines, but small in the backcourt. But they both are very small in the backcourt, but that's going to be a fun matchup. See how that's going to pan out. So size is really not going to really bother them unless you get a switch on the pick and roll. And then, you got someone Donovan Island, you got someone on Jalen Brunson Island. And it's going to be barbecue chicken when you get one of them bigs out there. But to me, I think with Cleveland, they're shooting at the right time. Matt Strus came back and really gave him a little jolt. Sam Merrill's another good piece off their bench. Jaden Tyson is another one that's been there. I think he's a sophomore this year, so he's been having.
He's really kind of fallen out of the rotation though. Like he's really kind of fallen out. He had a great season up until the All-Star break, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a crash, but I think he's going to be kind of see what's going to happen if his minutes increase here. What you think about the whole coach battle between your guy and Kenny Atkinson?
Before we do that, I didn't have a chance to talk about this, so I have a conspiracy theory, right?
Uh-oh.
And you are far familiar with this because it happened a few years ago when the Orlando Magic went 7 games with a particular team and beat the shit out of them, and then they went on and got beat in the next round. The Magic essentially served up, a a win for whoever they play. I feel like Orlando. I feel like it's not going to be talked about how physical that Orlando Detroit series was, and just the gauntlet that Detroit had to go through, like to get to Cleveland. Like I really think that the physicality of Orlando and then the physicality of Cleveland, like Detroit just couldn't handle it. I think those were just two back-to-back matchups that were just really impossible for Detroit to overcome because of how they play. And it's not going to be spoken about how Orlando literally served Cleveland Detroit on a silver platter, because that team was 7 games in hell. Every game was physical. Every game, even some of the blowout games, like the Magic still were putting bodies on them. You know, Jalen Duren was never the same after he ran into Wendell Carter Jr. I don't know what happened to that guy, but Wendell Carter broke his spirit.
It's funny you mentioned this. It's funny you mentioned this, Ashley, because me and a few men. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm here. To add to that, I was going to tell you, it's funny how you brought that up, Ashley. Whenever these teams play Orlando in the next round, they have these little injuries that add up. Like, look at the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell was beat up. Jarrett Allen didn't play a few games, and they didn't advance. Then you go to the Boston Celtics. Like, they was beat up, and then, God forbid, Jason Tatum got extremely hurt. And then the Pistons, you saw Duncan Robinson miss a few games. Tobias Harris on the injury report a few times, and my goodness, he had a horrible Game 7. And I just wondered because, like you just mentioned, just the physicality of the Magic to beat up the team. So
a lot of mileage, bro. A lot of mileage on those people, but
yeah, you don't want to play this team in the first round because if you got to play longer basketball, like that's crazy. That's why I said, man, we'll get to the match later, but if they get there, man, this is why I like.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about it the other day, and I was like, man, like Wendell Carter broke Jalen Duren's spirits, bro, and he was just never the same. He stole his girl. He did all this stuff, whatever beef they had going on. I don't know how true all that stuff is, but whatever it is, it's wild, and you know.
How much money did Duren lose during the playoffs?
Yeah, he was eligible for a Supermax. He ain't getting no Supermax.
He said he wants it.
You can make all the All-Star games you want, but if you go to the postseason, you do 10-8 in the postseason when you were averaging damn near 20-11. I ain't giving you a Supermax, brother. Sorry.
Jalen Duren to me is interesting because the conversation around him was supposed to be the next Dwight Howard, and it's like, okay, I don't see that, but I think he's a fantastic player. The postseason I'm telling you, I love the NBA postseason because it exposes all these narratives and everything that you want to bring up about these certain players. Same thing that happened with Jalen Johnson with Atlanta Hawks. Everybody, oh yeah, he's better than Paulo. He's better than this. He's the next one coming up. Everything like that. Where was he during the Knicks series? I didn't see much of him. Nick Alexander-Walker, who took off and had a fantastic campaign and is going to be the most improved player of the year. And rightfully so, he deserved that. I didn't see much of him during the Knicks season. Just all these other players. Jalen Duren was one. Disappeared. There's many cases whenever you come to the postseason, bro, you have to put your game up. And like, bro, like as much as I hate to say it, bro, like it just you see what you're made of, man. Like the postseason tells me a lot. So all these narratives, like Scotty Barnes, he had a few good games, but you know, the postseason tells me a lot. If you're gonna be, I just
didn't realize how much Duren's game was predicated on Cade Cunningham. like literally, Cade's got to break things down and just throw lobs at the rim and just put him in positions. Like, you just got to put him in spots to score, or he has to get offensive rebounds. But like, 75-80% of his baskets are from Cade Cunningham. Like Cade. Like if anyone deserves a Supermax, Cade needs 2 of them.
Yes.
Like yes. Cade, like it's just he came out every night. I know he had a rough game last night and he didn't score a lot, and I know he dealt with a lot of turnovers and all this stuff. But like,
tired, man.
Dude was out there giving it. He was giving it his all every night, bro. And then this fucking guy is giving him 10 and 6. You know what I mean? Like your second best player all postseason was Tobias Harris.
It's a triple single. Jerry Diller himself and Tobias Harris was your second best player. This is why you get limited.
You had to know at some point that ship was gonna sink.
I was just waiting for. I'm like
it's not sustainable, bro. Tobias Harris is averaging like 18 and 8, like throughout the whole postseason. It's like he'll get his. Don't worry. And then he started getting old, started feeling old and feeling like his hips hurt. And ever since Donovan Mitchell put him on the ground, he was never the same.
I'm enjoying it because listen, Tobias Harris and Jay Durden got on my nerves during the first round series. So I listen, Cade, get him some help. Detroit is a damn good basketball team. I don't want to sit here and flex. Like they're number one seed for a reason. This is a learning curve for them, but Cade, it's just Cade by himself, man. Like I would love to see maybe a scorer mentality on type of that team, like maybe like a Michael Porter Jr. to just get buckets and you just put defense around him. Like that type of player that you already know he's gonna get you 20. He's gonna get you 20. He might let a few people to blow by him on defense, but he's gonna get you 20 points. He's a walking 20-point buck. That's what Cade need besides him. 100%. He need a person that can give him 20 points a game. And Detroit would be,
and that could create his own shot. Like that doesn't need Cade to get him open. Like you know what I'm saying? You need a guy. You need a shot creator. Yeah. But like people were talking about how many turnovers Cade was having. Like brother, the dude was dribbling the ball every possession. Like he had no choice. Like he had to literally do all he could. There was nothing they could do. Like it got a little better when they brought Dennis Jenkins into the starting lineup. Like that's a kid who's going to be, I think, pretty decent if he can. Solid. If his trajectory is right, but like, brother, Cade was that offense, bro, and it was just the fact that it went 7 games and it was the last 3 games were just Cade, like was nuts, bro. So like, I mean, God forbid if they got some help, because I don't know, man, but
yeah, and that's why I sit here and like, Detroit. I know they're all the fraudulent number 1 seed. Hey. Listen, Cade ain't fraudulent.
No, Cade's the real deal. Cade's real.
Yeah, it ain't Cade's fault. Look at, now I see the whole meaning to his nickname now. Motorcade, golly, he's the engine, the transmission, he's the wheels, he's everything to Detroit basketball. Because I'm like, golly, he needs some help.
It's similar to how you were talking about the postseason, how it exposes people. Like there was a lot of people that had questions about Cade Cunningham, and like he shut a lot of people up. Like he was shooting the 3. He was getting to the free throw line. He was, getting guys involved. Like the only issue he had was he turned the ball over a lot. But like he played against he played against 2 really good defenses. Like I don't know what you want me to do. You know what I mean? And like there was a lot of times in those series where that offense got stagnant and he was just trying to make a play. And I don't, do your thing, boy.
Detroit Pistons, Cade Cunningham has all my respect. I saw 7 games of that. He has my utmost respect. No questions. Hey, everything was answered, like you said, about the turnovers, but 2 good defense, like you just mentioned. He's got my respect. Back to this Knicks Cleveland series. What you got? Your prediction? How you feeling?
I'm gonna go Knicks in 6, brother. We were 2-1 against them in the regular season. I think we only played them once since they acquired James Harden, and obviously we lost that game. But we're just playing so good right now, man. And like, as good as Donovan Mitchell's been, and I know he likes the bright lights of MSG, and he's probably due to have some big games in New York. At the end of the day, they still got James Harden, and playoff James Harden is a real person. He exists. He breathes air. He's real. He's tangible. You can touch him. You can see him. And until he proves me otherwise, I am not getting eliminated from the Eastern Conference Finals by Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. I'm not doing it. No way.
I agree with you, man. I think it's the next time to go back to the NBA Finals. Like, I just don't see where a player on the Cavs is going to have like that kind of Tyrese Halliburton type of run. I just don't see. Can Donovan Mitchell do that? Yeah, 100%. But on the other side, who's going to guard Jalen Brunson that can go ahead and actually, he's going to take off too. I feel like Indiana has some like Andrew Nembhard that, well, gave Jalen Brunson some fits. It took a lot for Jalen Brunson to get his buckets.
Indiana did some crazy shit. Like, there was some weird shit happening. Like, I mean, like that. Like
I just don't see that with the Cavs, bro. I just don't. Like you said, the whole drop tier and then doing. I don't know, bro. To me, I'm just trying to figure out.
There was one game where Aaron Naismith or whatever hit a bunch of threes. Like, it was a weird series. Like, sometimes you just chalk it up to whatever, bro.
Yeah, can Sam Merrill do some stuff like that? Probably. I mean, can Matt Strus take it up? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I think the Cavs is a really good basketball team. I'm just thinking that New York. A lot of people picked the Knicks to come out the East anyway, so I'm just kind of leaning to that.
If we get caught, it's because someone like a Sam Merrill, Max Strus, one of them are going to go. You know what I mean? That's going to be the thing that gets us is if one of those guys get going.
Yeah. Now I'll say this too. Like, we know James Harden's going to pull a disappear in that. Now I'm not Carmen Towns. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Because that's the only way I can see the Knicks losing. Like, where the hell's Carmen Towns? Where's Carmen Towns, yo? He don't disappear too. So that's why I'm hoping, but he's been playing so well, and I feel like he can bring Jared Allen out on the perimeter and drive and hit a three.
I mean, the other day he had a triple-double. He only shot like 8 shots. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to score. He just has to be out there making plays, rebounding, passing. So, like, that's the difference, I think.
Fair enough. But yeah, to answer the question, I got Knicks and 6 as well. So I feel like it's going to be the Knicks and the OKC Thunder. So wasn't that I felt like that was a cup game. Wasn't that the cup game? That was the cup game, wasn't it? Was that the cup game?
It was.
That was the cup game. Yo, we're going to have a chance at the Emirates NBA Cup. Could be the NBA Finals. Bro, who told this story? Bro, I swear to God, if that happens, bro, I know you're going to.
And we won the NBA Cup now.
Yeah, y'all won the NBA Cup. So, hey, maybe it's good mojo for you, bro. I don't know. I'm giving you something. I was thinking, that was the NBA Cup, right? That was the NBA Cup.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we got about 10 more. I'm
gonna sound off on your magic, bro. Give us a season. Give us a season recap. Give us a look ahead. How you feeling? Where we at?
Guys,
the floor is yours.
First of all, I want to congrat Jamal Mosley. He just got hired on to be the New Orleans Pelicans head coach. I think he is a fantastic coach. Defensive mind, I feel like he is up there one of the top coaches when it comes to defense. Orlando was a top 5 defense in the league on his tenure, or at least the last 3 years, was because of his principles. His offense is pretty much born as a tortoise running a snail's race, but for the most part, I will give him to him as far as the defense side of the ball. Orlando was just Paul. I think the start of the season, I have been as optimistic as I've been about in the match of basketball, and I'm pretty optimistic when it comes to basketball. And I'm also a realist too. I'm like, yeah, this team ain't there yet. This team ain't there yet. Man, we got Desmond Bain. I'm like, okay, we gonna be a top 3 seed team in the East. Boston is hurt. I feel like we match up well with the Cavs and the Knicks. We match up well with the Celtics, even though they shoot lights out. I just felt pretty confident about the Orlando Magic. But, lo and behold, same old song and dance, injuries. Losing Franz is a big one. You realize Franz is more the connecting piece than we, at least to everybody else. Franz is that connecting piece that kind of keep everything together, the offense. Like, for us to have a competent offense, Franz Wagner need to be on the court and present at all times. So, the playoffs was great. The environment was great. I felt we matched up well with Detroit. And at the end of the day, listen, I'm gonna say this: maybe the results would change. We have Franz playing those last 3 games, but at some point, Paul, you are up 24 points in Game 6 on the Kia Center, and you have a chance to advance to the second round. You control all your narratives right here. You control all of it. I haven't seen second round since 2011, bro. So I was excited. Last time I seen second round, I was literally just graduating college a few years ago. This is my 20s, bro. I haven't seen second round basketball since then. So yeah, it's not been a thing around here in Orlando. So I was at halftime. I was feeling myself. Me and my whole Magic friends that meet up, we just feeling ourselves. But I had one friend that was on this show, Yachty, remind us like, hey, there's only one half left. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Walking to my seat, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, it's not over yet. Lo and behold, bro, Orlando missed 23 straight shots. I mean, Paul, I have never seen an offense so bad in my life that I just saw shots that was not good shots. Everything was pretty much outside the paint. And Cade Cunningham, who was a smooth criminal, came in and just dissected us, and they came back and won that game. That game is going to haunt me. I haven't felt that way, Paul, since the Derek Fisher shot in Game 6. Or game 5.
I was locked into that Magic game here at the house, and I swear to you, when I was I never wanted to watch basketball again. I literally just want to put like the Benny Hill music to that. Just it was watching it fast forward because that was how not to play offense at all. You know what I mean? And I know that's gonna stink. This is sting for a while, and you have to live with that. The blowing of the 3-1 lead, the blowing of the 24-point lead at home, all that. But like all in all, you know, with you know a few minutes left we have, how would you grade kind of everything? Like the Desmond Bane acquisition, Paolo's growth. Like how would you grade everything as a whole? Put a bow on the season.
I definitely give it, because listen, at the end of the day, Orlando was one game out of the 5th seed. So I mean, it's definitely a B- C+ to me. Desmond Bane is not the problem. Desmond Bane was fantastic. The acquisition's an A. Like, if Memphis want another pick, I send them a damn pick. They can have another pick. I don't care. Like, Desmond Bane's not the problem. But particularly, Paul, our starting 5 is not the problem either. Like, we have one of the best lineups, like, pretty much on and off with the starting 5.
Jalen Suggs might be the problem.
I hear you. And listen, I hear you. But I want to see him with another coach. If we trade him, cool. It is what it is. At some point in time, I was like, you know, trade him. Now I'm like, you know what? Give him another coach. Give him rear in a little bit. Stop taking these dumbass shots. But defensively, he is still there. I know he didn't guard Cade. Cade's is like got 6 inches on him, dog. Like, so that ain't happening. I'm just overexaggerating, but it's probably like 3 or 4 inches. And Cade's bigger. But all in all, Paul, I feel like we didn't really meet expectations. And to hear, and another thing too, to hear the GM actually sign an extension during the season and kept it hidden until Mosley got fired. It's just the funniest thing in the world. And at that point in time, the NBA Cup, that's when we was doing well. That's when he got his extension, but they kept that under wraps. But again, hey, that's his money. I mean, listen, that's his situation. Like, hey, good for him. But I do think the way that we're running and the guy that's still here, I think Suggs stay. Now, if it was a different GM and we let him go, they're breaking this down. But for the most part, Tinker, you only one game out of the 5th seed. Franz didn't play. Like, he had a lot of injuries, but that's saying I keep using the same excuse, and that's what's getting annoying, Paul. It's the injury excuse. And I'm sick and tired of using it. But it is what it is. I'm using the same excuse, and it's getting tiring. Just stay healthy, develop a bench, and go from there, because we just got to go. Paolo had an inconsistent season, but he finally came on there in postseason. But
playoff Paolo is impressive.
I try to tell people, man, he gets into another gear, but the last 2 injuries he had, Paul's been core injuries. You really can't do anything once you have a core injury. Like, you just pretty much have to let it heal. You can't really do much activity. So for him to be a step slow, it was there. But the attitude, Paulo, he's got to fix his attitude, bro. This has been known for a while about his attitude. Like, I need my number one player. Like, yo, like, don't pout. Like, bro, this ain't gonna be enough. But my two cents. But yeah. Magic.
I guess the last thing before we go. So, with all that being said, how much longer does this go on? How much longer does the Suggs, Paolo, Franz experiment go on? At some point with injury, whether it be injuries, whether we just chalk it up to Franz might just be an injury guy. You know what I mean? And he's not going to play a lot. Paolo, obviously we've seen Paolo, but he has his moments, and then obviously Suggs, we'll have to see. But I mean, how many more years are you given this before you decide you have to keep one or two of these pieces and then just blow it up? Yeah,
Franz is a weird player because he's been healthy throughout his career, except these last 2 seasons, and it just happened. Someone just happened to land on his leg. That it's just a freak incident, but. I've been vocal about this is my core. Desmond Bain, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero. During their whole contract extension here, during that time window, see what we can do with them. Everybody else can be had. Anybody else can be had for the right price. Because now, guess what? We got to sign Anthony Black. We got to make a decision on him. This team's going to be very expensive. So me personally, Desmond Bain, Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, during the duration of their max contracts. Work with those 3. Everybody else, you can shuffle around until you get it right. Just like Boston did it with Brown and Tatum. Shuffle around, see can we get it right, see what happens. If it doesn't happen, then, hey, decide between Paolo and Franz one you want to keep.
Who do you want to keep?
That's a really good question. Me personally, I just think Paolo head is – I just feel like he's elsewhere. If I had a choice, and I hate to say this, but it'd probably be Franz. It probably would. But who can lead us to heights that we never been before is Paolo. 100%. But I'm just getting that whole kind of different vibe from him that we just got to build a team around him or he's going to go somewhere else and do it somewhere else. But I wouldn't trade him. I'd sit there and keep him and make it figure it out and then go from there. But if I had a choice between those 2.
So you want to risk getting nothing for him?
I would say this. No. I want to say risk getting anything for him. I feel like if I had to absolutely make a choice, I would definitely probably keep Franz. And I feel like that if the deal is had, that there's there to be had, then yeah, I'd probably lean that route and see what we can do. But this whole thing where we get Giannis, nah, I don't want Giannis for that. Giannis is older, he's aging, so I'm good on that.
Well, there we go. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to bounce that quick. That's interesting. Those are takes for another day. We'll deep dive those in another day.
Absolutely. Well, hey, let's close this bad boy up. I know you just got some people that your loved one just walked in, but hey, guys, make sure y'all stay tuned. Me and Paul's schedule has been kind of crazy, but basketball slowing down for me. So he's got a team that's still got a dog in the fight. But we'll definitely be staying active during the week. But hey, make sure you follow the podcast page or where you can find you at, Paul.
Yeah, bro. I'm on X at _Paul_Mac. I'm on the Instagram at @ThePaulMac520. Yeah, we get down.
Absolutely. You can find me in the -CP on Twitter, X, whatever we call it. Where you get other content at, you get BLC Podcast on Twitter, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. On Facebook, it's Balls on the Court Podcast. Give us a like, comment, shout there. Anywhere else that you listen to the show, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, all that, please go and support us, subscribe, all that. We've been getting subscribes even when we're not putting out much content, so we want to thank people for subscribing. We'll definitely get back into it. So, and shout out Brad. You get another year of Aaron Rodgers. But besides that, anything to add, Paul? We good?
No, bro, we're good.
Absolutely. Well, hey, this is Balls on the Court Podcast. This is Cortez, Paul Mac, signing off. Have a good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.